What is up, guys? Delboy here. Just a quick video to preview Jarrell Miller versus Bogdan Dinu. I will also briefly run through the card as well. We will start with the main event, Jarrell Miller versus Bogdan Dinu. When this fight was first talked about a few weeks ago, it was suggested that Jarrell Miller would be fighting for the vacant WBA regular heavyweight title. I cannot find any details of that now. It's not listed on BoxRec as for being for that title, so I'm not sure what is happening with that. Quendo was originally supposed to fight for that belt, but he turned down $500,000 to fight Jarrell Miller. Essentially, his reasoning was there wasn't enough time to implement VADA testing. I'm not sure what's happening with that. I'm not sure if the WBA regular heavyweight title is going to be on the line in this fight, but regardless, we'll continue on and talk about it. It's a fight where obviously we all expect Jarrell Miller to win. Miller has been more active, he's fought better competition, and overall he just has a lot more momentum behind him. Bogdan Dinu, he's a bit of a prospect. He's been a prospect forever now. He's not really stepped up. I have heard of him. I heard of him a few years ago. He's a fighter who, he does the basics quite well. Good jab, good straight punches, respectable power. He's well schooled. He was a decent amateur, but he's just not had that step up fight. So it's hard to gauge how good this guy is. Maybe he is the best kept secret in the heavyweight division, but I cannot see that being the case. I think stylistically he is tailor-made for Jarrell Miller. Dinu, his feet are not that quick. He doesn't really offer that much lateral movement. Doesn't really move his head that much. He looks fairly stationary. He's not like super flat-footed like a Marius Wack, but you get my drift. He's not the quickest guy in the world. And I just feel he is going to have trouble keeping Miller off of him. Dinu can hit relatively hard at a low level, but again, it's hard to what type of power he has, when he's been feasting on D-level journeymen, Dinu, I'm not really expecting too much. I think he'll give Miller more trouble than Quendo would have done. I think Dinu's straight punches might actually find the target quite regularly, but it's whether he has enough to really keep Jarrell Miller honest. And for whatever reason, I don't think he does. I think you'll see Miller walk down Bogdan Dinu and take him out in the mid-rounds. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see it being the case, to be quite honest. I think Miller should get him out of there in the mid-rounds. Bogdan Dinu, for me, not been active enough. The level of competition has been terrible. And stylistically, it's not a terrible fight for Jarrell Miller. I've seen a couple of people actually online on forums suggest that Bogdan Dinu has a shot. I don't see that being the case. We will see. Let's briefly run through the rest of the card. Gabe Rosado, he is going to be fighting Luis Arias. We all know about Gabe Rosado. He's a high-level journeyman. Luis Arias, he lost his only step-up fight to Danny Jacobs. That's a decent fight, I guess. Brandon Rios versus Ramon Alvarez. That is Canelo's brother. Could be a fun fight, but not really interested. Claressa Shields versus Hannah Rankin. I'll be honest, I'm not interested in female boxing. Don't care about that. Anthony Sims Jr. is going to be on the card. He is fighting a journeyman, so I'm sure Anthony Sims Jr. is going to blast him out relatively quickly. I do think Sims Jr. is a good prospect, but we can only really tell when he steps up. Nico Hernandez is also on that card. He's a good flyweight prospect, but again, fighting a journeyman. The card itself is pretty lackluster. When Eddie Hearn announced this DAZN deal, I expected better than this, to be quite honest. I didn't think the first card was bad. The second card looked okay until the main event fell apart, and this card is garbage, let's be honest about it. That's my brief thoughts on this card. Not too much to really go into detail about. Share your thoughts below. Peace.